Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today my wife and I are going to do a two-player playthrough of Wok Star. This is by Tim Fowers, he also made Burgle Brothers, which I really enjoy. And this is a really fun real-time game. This game you are creating an Asian restaurant and you're trying to survive 4 rounds and make a specific a specific amount of money in that 4th round. And if you can do that within the time period that you have between each round with this little Wok Star timer, you win the game. So like I said, we're going to do a 2-player playthrough, but you can play this from 1 to 4 players, although at 1 it's pretty insane. 4 is probably the best amount of players for this game, and I'm hoping to do a 4-player one because it's just crazy. It's a lot of fun. But okay, anyways, I digress. Just like normal, if you would like to jump right to the playthrough, please feel free to check out that second video in the playlist. Otherwise, hang out here and I'll show you how to set up the game. Similar to real life, we are going to start with recipes of three different dishes that we can make. So we can start with making egg rolls, fried rice, and lo mein. During the game, we'll have opportunities to get more of them, but you always start with these 3, no matter what player count. A couple important things to know about these recipe cards. First, down here, this tells you what specific items you need in order to make fried rice. So for fried rice, I need onions and peppers and eggs. If I have that, I decrease them on the board by 1 for each of those items that we need, and then we've completed that order. Up on the right side here, for other types of recipes, because you'll start with these, you'll have to purchase other ones. Up here tells you the price to actually purchase this recipe and learn what you need to make for the ingredients. And he's got 3 different numbers here. 1 for 4 players, 1 for 3 players, and 1 for 2 players. There's nothing for a 1-player, but that's because he says to play a 2-player game by yourself for solo. You can just imagine what that's like. So this lets you know, and there's going to be an opportunity during the rounds where we can purchase more recipes, and that will let us know how much it's going to cost to get a new recipe. Okay, so each card will have their own cost. The other thing they have is what's the value. So if you actually make that, so if I made fried rice, then what would I get for it? Well, I'd get $2. If I make egg rolls, I get $3, and if I make lo mein, I get $3, and you can see that in these little spots here. So those are the recipe cards. Here we have the order card. So this is going to tell us what does that person need. They want egg rolls. So then we would look at that recipe card that we were looking at just a moment ago, egg rolls, and we would decrease on the board pork, bok choy, and egg roll wraps. If we can do that within the time period that we have on that timer, we would obtain the $3 that are here. If we don't, then we don't pass this card or pass this order, and we go to the next one. And how we know who the next player is going to be is this awesome little mechanic up here that says next order. So next order, table 1. And that means that the next people coming into the restaurant to order food are going to come to table 1, and each person's going to be a different table. So I may get 3 orders in a row, and that means I need to complete those, and then all of a sudden I'll get one for table 2, so that means Monica's going to complete the next one. It's a really cool mechanic. I really like that. So, and you can see table 1, table 2, those are the only 2 that you're going to see during this game, because if we play a 3-player game, there'll also be a table 3 card, and if you're playing a 4-player game, you'd see a player 4 order card. Within each of the rounds, you're going to set up however many orders that you have for the specific recipes that you have. So in a 2-player game, for each new recipe you get, you're going to get 2 order cards of that type. So you're going to have all those cards, you're going to shuffle them together, and then depending upon the player count, you'll put a certain amount of these event cards. When these event cards come up, they actually stop the real time. You'll read them and do whatever they say. Many times they talk about gaining a die, and we'll talk about what that means shortly. But a lot of times you'll gain a die, you'll roll it, and then depending on what you roll, you get something. Or this one might say all players just re-roll all of their dice. So depending on what you see for the event, you'll have to do it. And you'll still have who's the next table as well. Kind of a cool way to be able to stop some of the real time because it's a little bit frantic, but also a way to just mix things up a bit. So I just talked about dice. Right? We get to gain and roll the die. Well, what does that mean? What are dice doing for us? So at the beginning of each round, you're going to roll your dice. You start with 3. Immediately after you roll your dice, you're going to start your timer and flip the first order card, okay? And during the real time, you can use your dice to place them on your specific cards for the different types of food that you need. So this is how we get onions and peppers. If I place a die that has a 4 on it, so let's say this had a 4, I could increase my onions and peppers by 2. Then when we have something that uses onions and peppers, we'll decrease it by 1 for each one of those orders. And so during the real time, you're going to be using your cards and going, oh, I need more eggs, I need more eggs. Okay, so I need 2, 4, 6, and a 2, 4, 6. Okay, I can put both of these here, and that means I get 3 eggs. So we put on the board, we increase the eggs by 3, then we'll decrease it by 1 for using it for that order, complete that order, move to the next thing, okay? So depending on what recipes you have that call for certain types of ingredients, you will have cards for all of the ingredients. You'll always have an area where you can put just any numbered die, and it'll be cost of, you get 1 of the specific ingredient. Then you'll have one with a specific number, and then one where it's addition, or it's all evens, or whatever it is, something unusual. Now, between phases, during what they call the accounting phase, which of course is my favorite because I'm an accountant, you get to have the possibility of upgrading your ingredients. If I upgrade them, I flip them over. Well, now look at this. Any die will get me 2 of these. If I get a 4, I get 3 of these. And if I am able to add up to 7, well, I get 5 of onions and peppers. Pretty cool. So what you have to balance is how many different ingredients you want to have for all the different recipes that you're going to get in between rounds. But these are your ingredient cards, and these are your dice. And when they say for one of those events, so just for an example, this event says jurying, it says gain and roll a die. Well, there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice here, but you only start with 3. Okay, so if I get this event, I get to gain and roll a die. And then once I have that die, I can now use it, and I'll use it for all the rest of the rounds. The other thing to mention is just because I place 1 die here doesn't mean I cannot place another die in that spot. I can keep putting dice on this spot and getting 2 onions and peppers. Same thing with here. If I did a 4 and a 3 to get 7, and then I got a 5 and a 2 later, that's 7. Well, now I just made 10 onions and peppers. So just because I place these on here once doesn't mean I can't place new ones on here. Lastly, it's very important that you know that when you are placing dice, you can place dice on your teammates' ingredients as well. There's a catch though. If you do that, you don't get tips for that die. So each die you place on your own ingredient cards, you get $1 of tip. And so the more dice you use on your own cards, the better. But also, there's going to be times where you just, I need a 3, I need a 3, I need a 3. Well, Monica will have a 3 and she'll give it to me and I'll pop it on here. And well, let's say it was a 2. I pop it on here and I get the 2 eggs that we need in order to make egg rolls. Okay? And although it's not the right color, I'm not going to get tips, it still makes it so we don't fail the order. Because every order you fail, you lose $1. So you don't want to fail orders if you can. So that's the ingredient cards. In the game, each player can be a specific person from the Wang family. Okay, there are a total of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 or 7. I think there is a promo in here, Page Turner, that actually is in reference to his paperback game, which is another really good game. If only I had that one. I love that one. That's a great one. But so there's, I think, a total of 6 different ones, with Page Turner being an additional one. For this game, Monica and I wanted to have a little fun, so we're going to be Grandma and Grandpa. So let me pull these out. We're going to be Grandma and Grandpa Wang, and let me just read you their abilities. So Grandma Wang, which is going to be Monica, of course, she has the Scrape the Bottom. When using a preparation that requires 2 dice, it yields 1 additional ingredient. So just so you understand what that means, if I'm doing onions and peppers and I use 2 dice here, I'd actually get 6 onions and peppers instead of 5. That's pretty nice. Thanks, Grandma Wang. And then we have Grandpa Wang, and that's who I'm going to be. He has the secret ingredient. When serving, you may substitute 1 recipe ingredient with any other ingredient. That's awesome. So what that means is you can actually use, so let's say I needed to make egg rolls, okay? So I got this card that says I need egg rolls. And in order to make egg rolls, I need to have these 3 different ingredients: pork, bok choy, and egg roll wraps. But I don't have any more egg roll wraps, and we don't have any more dice to use. But we have another piece of bok choy. Well, I actually can use 2 pieces of bok choy and 1 pork. Perfect. Guess what that means? Made the order. Okay? So those are the 2 players that we're going to use. Welcome to the Wok Star timer. So this is the timer that we're going to use during the game. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It works. I'm going to click it, and it's going. You can hear it ticking. There are 3 different levels of difficulty on the back. There is a 15-seconder. Yep, a 15, a 20, and a 30. So 30 seconds is easy, 20 is standard, and 15 is hard. And let me tell you, 15 is hard. Okay, we're going to do it at medium, which is 20 seconds. Okay, perfect. Wanted you to hear that. That sound means that if I have not completed that order, so if that egg roll order was out and I wasn't able to fulfill it by the time that ding went off, that means we failed this order and we just have to go to the next one. Each time you complete an order, you're going to have to tap this timer twice. Once to stop the clicking and once to restart it. So you're going to see us doing that. We're going to be trying to double click it as fast as we can. And that's the timer. Welcome to the Wok Star board itself. This board is pretty awesome. I really like how it's set up. You got a lot of stuff on here. It's not too large, and it's very effective during the real time because things are moving quickly. So what you have here, when you first start out, you're going to have 1 of each of the type of the ingredients that you need for those 3 basic recipes. And what you're going to do is put them at the 1 spot. So that means you have 1 of these. Now, each round, you're going to be flipping these order cards. And when you look at this order card, you're going to go, okay, what do I need for egg rolls? Well, I need pork, so I'm going to lower pork by 1. Then I need bok choy. Lower this. Then I need the egg roll wraps. Got that. Okay, perfect. I'm done. I completed this one. Now it's going to be table 2. They're going to have to flip a new one. So you're going to keep going. You're going to be moving these up and down. And then in between rounds, what will happen is when you look at new recipes, and if you have new recipes with new ingredients, you'll place those new ingredients down here at the 0 level. You'll get the specific ingredients that you need. So you've got all these different ingredients cards. Well, now we need chicken, and we need peanut oil and shrimp. And so you're going to be placing those on the board too, and you'll have different places you can place your dice during the game to get additional ingredients of these. And so you're going to be looking on the board, quickly trying to move things up and down. And yeah, it's chaotic, it's fun. You're going to do this for 4 rounds. Each round consists of 2 phases. 1, the real-time phase. We're going to be doing all of this, clicking the timer. You're going to be doing all of that. That's going to be the first section. Then what you're going to do is you're going to count up all the money that you made. You're going to increase your money track. Then you're going to look at those tips. So all of the spots where you had your own dice on your ingredient cards, and you'll increase for those tips. And then any that you failed to complete, so any orders you failed, you'll decrease your dollars by that. Then you'll get to look at 3 different new recipes, see if you want to buy them. And you can also upgrade your ingredients themselves. You can save your money from round to round except for in round 4. Round 4, you have to start at 0, and then depending upon the number of players, you have to get a specific amount of money within 1 round. For 2-player, that's going to be $40. So we're going to have to get to here by round 4. Think we can do it? I don't know. Go check it out in the next video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for watching.